Welcome to the Franklin Method Fellowship. I'm your co-host Solange Ross, and I'm joined by my colleague Debora Chassie. We are physical therapists specializing in the pelvic floor. In this podcast, we share our passion for the Franklin Method, an evidence-based therapeutic approach using mental imagery, movement, and awareness to improve posture, the way you move and feel, and overall well-being. We integrate the Franklin Method into functional everyday movements, all forms of exercise, and our physical therapy practices. We also share a love for talking about the pelvic floor. We hope to inspire you to move better and feel better in your body. Always check with your doctor before beginning an exercise program. This podcast is not intended to be used as medical advice. Let's grab your Franklin Method balls and bands. Enjoy the show. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Franklin Method Fellowship. My name is Solange Ross, and I'm with my colleague, Debora Chassie. And we are doing a holiday edition today. And in this episode, we have put together this year we put together about 20 practices, and we selected some of our favorite exercises from all the practices that we've shared with you the entire year. So we know the holidays can be a happy and joyful time, but they can also be a very stressful time. So we've designed this practice today with our favorites to help you with the stress of the holiday season and also with some of maybe the sadness that can come around the holidays if we're missing loved ones or we're not with our family and friends. So we hope that you have a healthy, happy holiday season and that this practice can give you some peace, calm, and balance.
Solange, that was lovely. And the word that just keeps sticking out in my mind is the word peace. And so whenever I start noticing myself getting a little bit stressed, then I just take that word peace and I focus on that word because it actually brings relaxation to the body. And the other thing is we want to hold on to our peace. We don't want to give it up. So whatever you need to do to hold on to your peace is the best way to go. So we're going to give you some tools to help with you being able to hold on to your peace. So we're going to begin with breathing. So let's first focus on breathing and notice how we're breathing right now so we have a baseline. You take a breath in and notice your lungs as you're breathing into them and exhale. And one more time, checking in. And notice how your abdomen feels when you're breathing in and exhale. So we're looking forward to changes. You just notice what that felt like so that you can compare it to what we do after. So first, let's find the diaphragm. And big question is, what does the diaphragm do when you breathe in? Does it go up or does it go down? And a lot of people will say that the diaphragm goes up, but in reality, it goes down because it's contracting in a downward way. So if you imagine that the diaphragm starts right about here, and this is the dome of the diaphragm, and you breathe in, it's going to go down, but look what the ribs are doing too. So what we're going to do first is just focus on, first we want to find our diaphragm. So we found where the top dome is, but then underneath are the ribs. And notice if I flex forward and push in just a little bit, that's where the diaphragm is. It's right behind those ribs. And it goes all the way to the back, attaching to the spine, all the way to the level of L2. And the way to find L2 is you look at your belly button and go straight back. That's the level of L2. So look at how expansive that diaphragm is. It's a very important muscle. So if we just kind of take our hands and rub all around to acknowledge that we know now where the diaphragm is, creates our awareness. So as I stated before, if we make a dome right at this level here, so make a dome, and when you breathe in, the diaphragm comes down. And when you exhale, the diaphragm comes back up. And so breathe in and exhale and breathe in and exhale and breathe in and breathe in and exhale. Good. So now we notice that the diaphragm comes down when we breathe in. And let's look at what the ribs are doing. So if you picture an umbrella and use that as your image for your ribs, we'll notice that when we breathe in, not only does the diaphragm come down, but the ribs go up. So I'm going to use this umbrella as and the other thing I want you to notice too is the stem of the umbrella. That's like the stem of our spine. So it's a very nice visual. All right, so I'm going to use the umbrella. So we breathe in, ribs go up. And Solange, if you could use your elbows to show how the ribs are going up as the diaphragm comes down, and exhale and breathe in, and exhale and breathe in, and exhale. One more time, breathe in and exhale. Good. And the next one we're going to do is side bending. So we're going to stretch the diaphragm. So in order to do that, you're going to take your left hand and place it on your right ribs and bring your arm up and over. And so as you side bend, you're going to exhale, which means before we side bend, we have to take a breath in. So take a breath in and side bend as you pull your ribs down, really creating a stretch. And then breathe back in as you come back up. And I'm saying shh as I exhale because that helps me to elongate that stretch. And take a breath in. And breathe in as you come back up. And then as you side bend, and then just kind of notice because one side might feel different from the other. And that's the benefit of checking in between. So what I just want to do is bring my arm up and test it compared to the other side. And I notice a big difference between the two. How about you, Solange?
I really notice this side feels like it has a lot more space, just all around the
Mm-hmm.
ribs, the whole area of the lungs.
Nice. So let's even it out. Place your right hand on your left ribs. And as you bring your arm up, go ahead and take a breath in. And as you exhale and side bend and pull your ribs down, you say shh. And breathe in as you come back up. And pull those ribs down. Shh. Breathe back in. And as you side bend, pulling the ribs down and saying shh. And one more time, breathe in. Exhale. That feels more balanced. And if you just check in with your arm movement, that's so much better compared to before. There, very nice. How did that feel for you, Solange?
Good.
Good. All right. So we ready for neck and shoulders?
Yeah.
All right. Good. So when well, first let's begin by finding the occiput. So the occiput is the base of your skull. So in purple here is my occiput. And so we're looking at the very base of the skull here. So that's what we're going to find. So take your fingers and you're just going to just do some gentle massage around the base of the skull, your occiput. And notice that if you slide your hands down, you're going to find the spine, the cervical spine, right? And go back up to the occiput and give some circles around the occipital muscles. And then when you come to the sides of the neck, that's the transverse process of the cervical spine. And in that region is where the scalene muscles are. So you can tell where the scalene muscles are because here is your sternocleidomastoid muscle, which you can feel when you rotate. So right behind that is a scalene muscle. So our next exercise that we're going to do is we're going to breathe in. And as we breathe in, we're going to mimic what the scalenes are doing and they're lifting up. So we're going to just draw our fingers up as we breathe in. And then as we exhale, we're just going to draw down. Right? So breathing in and exhaling and drawing down. And we can say shh as we exhale too. Breathing in and shh, and breathe in and breathe in and breathing in. Next, we're going to stretch our scalene muscle. Let's take our orange ball and put it in your right hand. And then you're going to place it under or at the upper neck and take your left hand and place it on your upper ribs. And as you side bend your neck, you're going to apply some pressure to help stretch that scalene muscle. And once you get comfortable with that stretch and want to give a little bit of rotation, you can look up and look down. And you may want to find what really needs to work. For me, it's looking up or just side bending in neutral. And you could rotate in between the two. Mm-hmm. And then notice as you turn to the opposite side what that feels like. Mm-hmm. Big difference between mine. That's my tight side normally compared to this. Pretty amazing, huh?
Mhm.
All right, so we're going to do the opposite now. Take the ball in your left hand and put it to the upper neck. And then take your right hand and place it on the upper left ribs. And you're going to nudge a stretch and hold it there for a little bit. And then when you're comfortable and want to explore a little bit more, you could take it up, looking up and looking down. Interesting. This side, looking down is more of a challenge. So I'm going to challenge myself a little bit here. And looking up. Well, this tells you a lot about the body when you challenge yourself. Okay. And move gently when you come out of it. Now check your neck rotation. Oh, that's so much better. Why am I not doing this every day? I love it. I do have another ball exercise that I do every day for my neck though. But this one I'm gonna switch to this one. I like it. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is raking of the nuchal ligament. And the nuchal ligament uh, basically follows along the cervical spine. So if you find the base of your occiput here, and then just travel down the center, that's where you're going to find the nuchal ligament. So you're going to take your fingers like a rake, and you're just going to rotate your head or your hands side to side. You could do this with a band or with a towel too, if this is not comfortable for you. Get closer and sitting when you're done. And take a breath in and out. And notice if your breathing feels more full, more expansion, more ease. And just check your arm movement, arm range of motion. Good. And neck rotation. So much better. You know, we can think more clearly when our neck is relaxed.
And we're getting more oxygen to the brain because our muscles aren't
Mm.
squeezing and starving
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
brain.
Right. Important.
Well, we're going to move into the pelvis. So you'll take your balls and we're going to place our balls under the sit bones. So we've got a ball under each sit bone, and we're going to begin just letting the pelvis rock forward and then rock back. So imagining that our pelvis is a bucket of water, and as we rock forward, we're splashing that water onto the floor, and as we rock back, it splashes onto us. And we can also think about our sit bones as we come forward, sit bones widening, and as we rock back, sit bones narrowing. And we'll add in between the pelvic floor muscles. So as we come forward, they widen or lengthen. And as we rock back, they shorten. So pelvic floor lengthening, pelvic floor shortening. And we can coordinate our breathing with this as well, taking a breath in, lengthening, and taking a breath out, narrowing. And we'll come back into the center. And what we're going to do is we're going to push one sit bone down into the ball and then the other sit bone down into the ball. So we're going to alternate. One goes down, the other one will lift up, and then the other down, lift up. And can we make that movement of the sit bone dropping down into the ball on each side so that it's occurring in a balanced fashion on each side? And then the last thing we're going to do, well, not the last thing, two more. We're going to imagine our sit bone as a paintbrush. And so we're going to sweep the brush forward and back. So I'm focusing on my right sit bone, and I'm imagining that it's brushing the ball forward and back, forward and back. And if you could see how that's introducing rotation in the pelvis. And we can take the focus onto the other side. So now I'm focusing on my left sit bone, brushing the chair forward and back. That paintbrush, I'm painting the ball forward and back. And then let's settle into the center. And the last thing we're going to do is a circle. So combining these movements, we're going to circle around on the ball. And I like to think here about maybe stirring a pot. So maybe it's a cozy, warm stew or soup that you're making. And then reverse the direction. And of course, you're breathing as you're circling. And notice if one side maybe is a little bit more challenging, or if parts of the circle feel a little more sticky. Can we balance that out? And then we'll come to the center and we'll take the balls away and just check in with our sitting posture. The sensation around our sit bones. Maybe you notice your feet on the ground. Maybe you notice some changes in your breathing.
And how about in the neck alignment? That's where I'm really noticing it. Like a really nice sitting posture in my neck.
Great.
Opening in the chest. That means more oxygen.
And notice your state of mind. Did your mind quiet down? Are you able just to be still in your body and have the thoughts quieted? When I first stopped, I actually didn't think of anything, which was great. It's like nothing popped into my
That's always nice. Yeah, we want to keep the peace, right? Hold on to it. Yeah. And having our mind not um, trying to think about a lot of different things all at once, but just
Yeah.
to be at rest, at peace. And when we get inside our body like this, it really helps to accomplish being at peace. It's
Yeah.
really it's a form of meditation.
So we're going to come into standing for the next exercise, and we're going to give some love and care to our spine and our back muscles. So we're going to take our balls and we're going to tap our lower back. So we'll gently tap our lower back. Tap, tap, tap. And here we're going to begin to move our spine. So similar to what we were doing in sitting, we're going to round the spine and then arch the spine. So flex as we tap and extend. Flex and extend. Flex and extend. Flex and extend. You can bring your arms down for a moment. And then we're going to go into a side bend. So what I'm doing as I side bend is I'm going to drag the ball up on one side of the spine and down on the other, and then reverse the direction. So sliding up and sliding down on the other, and then side bending to the other side. And make sure that your knees have a soft bend in them, so you're not standing with locked knees. And you're breathing as you bend and slide one up and then the other down. Then we'll come
Feels
into a,
really good.
you like that?
I do. I can really feel it in my abdomen.
Then we're going to come into a rotation. So place your balls in front of your hips. And when we rotate, we want to try to keep those balls pointing forward as we rotate. They can move a little bit, but we don't want the whole thing going because then we're just moving our pelvis and we're not getting our spine. So give that a try. And then once you have that, you can take the balls away and do a gentle tap in the back as you rotate. We can also add just a little swinging of the arms or reaching of the arms. And now we'll take our balls and we'll put them underneath our armpits. And when you're here, you want to just give a gentle pressure down onto the balls so they don't flip out and you lose them. And we'll take a breath in. We'll lift the shoulders. We'll exhale, bend the knees and twist. Then coming back to the center, lift, exhale, bend the knees, rotate and reach through your fingertips. Breathing in, breathing out, rotate, stretch through your fingertips. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, lift. Breathing out, rotate and reach through those fingertips. Once more. We'll take the balls away and just notice and feel your lower back. Notice your posture. Breathing.
I really noticed that after doing those exercises that I just felt this expansion in my neck. And that's telling me that I'm releasing a lot of tension today. I noticed when we did one exercise that I felt it in my neck. And again, this one, I'm feeling it in my neck. And look at, we're working far away from the neck, but it really changed my posture. Feels really good in standing.
Great.
As we're out with the holidays, shopping and preparing meals, we find our legs are working extra hard. And so what we want to do is give something that will help support the coordination of our muscles and our legs to do all these activities. So you're going to take your right hand and place it just above your right knee, and your left hand placed below your knee. So basically, one hand is on the end part of the femur, distal femur, and the other is on the tibia, proximal tibia. And so what you're going to do, as we do a little knee bend, hip and knee bend, your right hand is going to be rotating outward, and your left hand is going to rotate inward. So I'm going to demonstrate first. As you bend, femur out, tibia in, that's that rotation. Now, as you extend your knees, the tibia is going to go out and the femur in. So let's do it together as we bend, femur out, tibia in. And as we extend, femur in, tibia out. And flex, femur out, tibia in, and extend, femur in, tibia. And again, femur out, tibia in, and extend, femur in, tibia out. Last time, femur out, tibia in, and extend, femur in, tibia out. And let's just notice that in our posture. And just a little comparison to extend your leg, right? So you're checking your hamstring leg. Or what about a little bit of bounce? One side little bounce, the other side bounce. You feel more supported and flexible on the side that you did. So let's do the other side. You have something that you noticed, Solange,
It
in
feels good.
comparison? Good, good.
Feels good. More
Right.
springy.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I like that spring. Yeah, even when I go out for a walk, I think about my ankle joints and my knee joints and my pelvis and just how they have that coordinated adhesive connection between them as we're walking. So now let's take your left hand, place it on your, just above your knee. So it's on the distal femur. And then your right hand is going to go on the proximal tibia. So it'll be right under your knee. So as you flex, your femur is going to go out and tibia in. And as you extend, the femur goes in, the tibia out. And femur out, tibia in as you bend. And extend, femur in, tibia out. And flex, femur out, tibia in. And extend, femur in, tibia out. And as you flex, femur out, tibia in. And as you extend, femur in, tibia out. And then come to standing. And just notice your posture. You feel more erect in your posture, stronger, more grounded in your feet. Check your hamstrings, more balance, and a little bounce, more springy. Bring in your step. Feels good.
Great. Well, for the last exercise, we're going to come into sitting. One of the places where we hold tension a lot during the holidays and on any day really is the jaw. So we're going to do some work on our TMJ, the temporomandibular joint, and the muscles around the jaw. So let's take our hands and we're going to find where the joint is. So if you go to your ears, and actually let's just massage our ears for a moment because this always feels so good if you just give a gentle massage and pull on your ears. And then if you come in front of your ear hole, the canal, you'll feel a bony prominence. And if you just open your mouth, you can feel something moving into your fingers. So let's just go ahead and rub around where the joint is. And we'll imagine that the muscles are melting. The muscles in our face are soft and supple and melting. And then we can start to move forward from the joint and just to massage around our mandible, the jawbone. So this is kind of just an exploration for you to just massage and notice what's sore. So you'll In a circular motion, you'll massage around. And we can come to the tip of the chin. And then what I'm doing here is I'm just doing a squeeze.
It's like forming the edges of a pie crust.
Yeah. As if my face was the pie dough.
Yeah.
And I'm molding that crust. And you're baking that pie for someone that you love. So you're putting
Mm.
that love and care into your touch on your face. And you can begin to do that and just drag your mouth open. And even just so I'm starting with my hands on the cheekbone, my fingertips, and just dragging down as I open my mouth. And here I'm just imagining the muscles to be droopy and melting, letting all of the tension melt away. And we can make it into one sort of larger stroke. So I'm going to trace up on the cheekbones and then come over towards the joint and then drag down. So I'm scrunching everything up and then dragging down. And then the very last thing that we'll do, you can either take your fingers or if you have your balls available, we'll put our balls on either joint. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the balls and we're going to rotate them forward and let the mouth drop open. And we'll do that together and we'll make a big sigh as we rotate forward and open the mouth. Ah. Just let the weight of the world fall off of your shoulders and let it out with a nice sigh. Ah. You don't need to hold on to anything anymore. You can just let it all go. Ah. And then we'll just drag down one more time. And then just check in and notice. Notice the sensations in your body. Notice your state of mind. We hope this practice has brought you peace and that you can take this peace with you and choose whichever exercises you need or do it as a little mini practice to keep the stress at bay as you need to. Thank you so much for joining us. We wish you a very happy and healthy holiday season. And we are so excited to bring you more content in the new year and to continue sharing our passion for connecting with the body and mind with you. Happy holidays. We'll see you next year.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we would greatly appreciate it if you would leave us a review. You can also become a patron of the podcast. Join our patron program to get access to movement practices from each episode, bonus episodes, and Q&As where we answer any questions you have about the practices. We look forward to practicing with you and continuing to share our passion. As we say in the Franklin Method, better information leads to better navigation. Keep practicing, and we'll see you next time.